how is everybody doing today? My name is Nzingha. I'm going to give some time for everyone to join on. I am doing an Instagram takeover in 2 places, so where I look back and forth. Give me some love. Where's everybody at? My name is Nzingha from Yes Baby I Like It Raw. Today I am excited to be with you here for Wellness Wednesday. I am on Kreyolessence, both live on IG and live on their Facebook. So I'm just gonna adjust my camera a little bit so they can continue to see. There we go. So how's everybody doing? Where's everybody at? Today I am going to be showing off my skincare routine with their new Haitian Moringa line that's at Ulta. And then shortly after that, I'm going to show you how you can use moringa seeds and a recipe that I created for some raw energy bars. And so before I started, I wanted to ask a question. What do you want me to do first? I was thinking that as I have my mask on, I could make the energy bars, or I could just do one or the other. So let me know what you want to do. I will say that this skincare line is fire. I tried it out and my skin has been very happy with it. And I saw an immediate difference on the first try. So I'm just giving everyone a little bit more time to join us. So I'm going to do both. It's how I'm going to do both is the question, right? So do I do skincare and just do it all the way through? Or do I do food first? Or do I do a combo? And what I was thinking, the combo would be good because I can have the mask on, because I'm going to do a mask. And then I start making the energy bars, which is what I think I'm going to do, to be quite honest. So how's everyone doing? So good to be here with everybody. I just want to make sure I'm good here on Facebook. Okay, now I think I'm good. Awesome. So a couple more minutes. I'm going to grab a spoon really quickly because for the mask I have something I need to pull out. And I'm definitely going to show you how you can use the seeds. And I wish I could show you my tree because I planted a tree a couple years ago in front of my apartment. And it's now like as high as the second. It's going towards the 3rd floor. Okay, so here we go. So I don't know about you, but skincare is the beginning of my makeup. Right? Because if I know I have good skin, I don't have to use a lot of makeup to cover up my skin. And I'm one of those persons that if I stay religious with my skincare and I drink enough water, my skin will love me. If I don't stay religious with my skincare, then my skin will tell me or if I start eating wrong, my skin will be like, nah, boo, not today. So I'm going to start with, because everyone's saying both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the combo, right? In the middle of this journey with me today, I'm going to stop and start to make some raw balls. So as I'm doing when the mask is on, that's when I'm going to start making the raw energy balls. Okay? So super excited about this line. Moringa is a super food. And all kinds of ways. The leaves are really powerful, the seeds are powerful, and there's a powerful oil that you can make with the seeds, and that's the base for Kreyolessence skincare line. Okay, so for me, in terms of skincare, the cleansing is really important for me, and what I loved about this cleanser is that it doesn't strip my skin away. I tend to have combo, and so sometimes when I get certain types of cleansers, I find that they strip out too much moisture from my skin, and I really love this. So cleansing for me is something I do religiously day and night, and I actually practice hot yoga, and so I always want to make sure that I'm also making sure I'm cleaning my skin afterwards. So we're going to start off with the cleanser. Then I'm going to follow up with their Super Glow powder. I don't know if you can see this. I think my light is like too intense. There we go. So the Super Glow powder, what I like is I am really big on whatever I put on my skin, I should be able to eat. And this is one of those things that you can consume internally or put it on externally. So I'm going to then, after I do my cleanser, do my mask, I'm actually gonna pair it with some yogurt. Yogurt's a really good way to put a mask on, and I'll get extra benefits instead of keeping the base with water. I'm using, for those of you who are plant-based, they have this awesome, they have some awesome yogurts that you can get that are plain. And then I'm gonna follow up with the toner, and this oil is like, so as I'm preparing my water, I have some water here in my bowl, but I'm also going to warm up my water. Tell me where you at. Where's everyone at? I see somebody say they're in NYC. I'm here in sunny South Florida, in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So tell me where you at. How are you? If you are using Kreyolessence products, what's your favorite go-to product? Is it just the oil itself that you're using, the go-to castor oil? Is it their hair products? They have some new hair products. Okay, we got some more people in New York, someone in Maryland in the house. I love the DMV area. Charlotte, North Carolina. What about the folks on Facebook? Where's everyone at? Okay, so my water is already warm, which is why I love this tea kettle. And I'm just gonna put this hot water in here. Okay, so Arizona in the house, California, Hawaii. I'm trying to get to Hawaii this year. So there's a couple of ways that I like to apply my cleanser. It depends on if today's a spa day or if it's not. And so sometimes I use like a brush. Sometimes I just use my bare hands. Sometimes I use a washcloth. It just all depends. So I am probably going to first, let me grab my washcloth, wet my face. Okay. So that this can go on really well. Okay, so I'm pretty moist right now. And I'm going to dip my brush in the water. And I follow up by removing any excess water. And then I pump, look at that, look at that, look at that. Nice and dark, you know it's rich. Okay, I did my pumps. And now I'm gonna go in. And so I like to take my time. I always like to get my neck. And I rub it in, I rub it in, I rub it in. So if you're going to do a mask, my go-to is to cleanse first so that the mask can then really penetrate and do what it needs to do. How do you like to put on your mask? Do you just like wet your face and throw the mask on first, or do you cleanse first? What's your go-to? So, and it does foam up. I just went deep in my brush. Okay. And I feel like I'm pretty good. Okay. Wet face. Okay. Somebody said cleanse first. All right, so here we go. From here, I am going to place my washcloth into my bowl and just do a wipe off. Okay? But I'm not going to take off too much moisture because I need this moisture for us to use for the mask, okay? All right, so now I'm pretty moist, I'm extra moist. Skin is feeling nice and clean, and now I'm getting ready to make my mask, Okay, so for my mask, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Haitian Moringa Super Glow Powder. So let me talk about what's in it first, okay? What's in it is moringa, biotin, citric acid, ginger powder, stevia, and collagen. And so this is great for a nice glow, and we're going to leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes. Someone had a question. Do you steam? I do steam on occasion. So I won't say I'm a religious steamer. I will say I steam from the inside out. Let me say that. Let me say that again. I steam from the inside out. So I make sure I drink lots of water, because water is a great way to detoxify the body from the inside out, and I religiously do green smoothies. And so what's really good is you can use this powder in your smoothies to help you glow from the inside out. So I think sometimes we focus externally, but what you do internally is just as important as what you do externally. This smells so good. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of that. Look at this. And it's the pineapple rum. So when I tell you this smells good, my skin is about to be super happy. So I place it on my bowl. And then from here, instead of adding water, I like to add yogurt. So you can add, if you're plant-based, you can add a plant-based yogurt. If you aren't, you can just add regular yogurt. And then I'll just find a consistency that makes sense for me. So I'm putting about that much on there. So it'll be nice and creamy. And I'm mixing it up with my brush. You don't have to get fancy and do all of that. I'm gonna have to add a little bit. So in terms of measurement, you can start small, just a little, and then add more. So this is just based on what I had so far in terms of consistency. All right, not too bad. And I'm going to add a little more. Just because it's a little thick, okay? It's a little thick for my taste, I should say. Again, you don't have to add yogurt. You could just simply add water and you're good to go. But yogurt's just really good to help. It has probiotics in it, and that just helps to clear up any bacteria you have on your face. So that's why I like to add it. And then you get all the benefits of the ginger reduces inflammation, you know, the moringas. So this is some good stuff. Okay, so my face is not as wet as it was before. So I'm going to dip a new cloth in there to make sure that I have some moisture. Okay, thank you. I like wrapping, I just get fabric and wrap it up. Okay, so I have more moisture on my face. And now I'm gonna add it on. So, ooh, this feels good. Because the yogurt was cool. So I can feel the coolness of the yogurt on my face right now. Okay. So I like to use a brush for application because it just helps me keep things clean, and it helps me be better with my consistency in terms of mixing. So brush is life, and maybe it's because I'm an artist too, so that might play a role. So then I'm gonna get in between here. So yeah, yogurt's a great, you know, we always did yogurt mask, so why not combine it with an amazing superfood like this, right? Okay. And like, this smells so good, and you know why it smells so good? Because I can eat it. Like, I'm so tempted right now to start licking my fingers. Okay. All right. So I'm making it, I like a thick layer. If you like a thinner layer, do what works, what feels good. Just want to make sure that you have full coverage, okay? All right, just make sure you have full coverage, okay? And I'm good to go. So sometimes I'll do my meditation when I have my mask on. Sometimes you know what? I like to pile it on my problem areas. Again, I have combo skin, so my T-zone is like where it's at, and more so my nose and right under here is where I get all like the whiteheads. Okay, so confession time. Do you ever like push your nose up to get all the white stuff out? Okay, and so my neck to me is connected to my face. So I never forget my neck. Never. When I did my cleansing, I always connect, they always say you can tell someone's age by their neck. My neck is always going to be part of my skincare routine, okay? All right, so while this dries, me too, right, Cassandra? Okay, so while this dries, I'm now going to switch over to making some raw energy bars, okay? So the raw energy bars, I've made some already so you can see them. Ooh la la. So what I used to make the raw energy bars was these moringa seeds. Hold on, let me bring close because my light is like, ooh, okay. I used cacao powder. I used a combination of seeds and nuts. So I have sunflower seeds, I have pumpkin seeds, and I have almonds. And the reason why I added sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds are really good for helping to stabilize your hormones. Another thing I added, I kind of had a spill, was hemp seeds. So that's why they're still in the bag, okay? And of course I use the moringa seeds, and I'm going to talk about can you use the moringa seeds in these kinds of recipes. So I use multiple seeds, but that doesn't mean that you can't just use one seed. Choose a seed that you like. I would say don't necessarily do cashews, because cashews are like, I would do everything but cashews if you're going to do a solo seed. And the other thing I'm adding is dates. Dates are a great source of fiber. They're a great source of iron, great source for energy. And and they're a great way for you to avoid adding sugar to your meals, because it's a fruit and it's dry. This is how I sweeten almost everything, to be quite honest. Okay? So here we go. We're going to move some things out. Oh, look at this little cute little fridge I got from Kreyolessence. Okay, let me not show off. All right, so let me sit up. You're going to need to have a food processor for this recipe. So, or you could potentially use your blender, but it's going to be work for your blender. Another way, if you're going to use your blender, I suggest doing this with oats, okay? So if you're going to do it with your blender, use rolled oats, old-fashioned, organic rolled oats. And the reason I'm saying organic is oats have been tested. I'm really big on clean beauty, right? And just clean eating. And we want to make sure we're eating things that are not, they're taken away from us being well. And most recently, when they were testing oats, they found that they were high in glyphosate, and that can wreak havoc in your body. So if you're going to get oats, you want to make sure you go organic with your oats, okay? So that's just a recommendation for me. So again, you can switch out your seeds. You can play around with this recipe. This is about 1 cup. So what I like to do first is I take 1 cup of seeds and I make this like a flour or a meal. quote unquote meal. So let me turn this on. And however, I'm using moringa seeds, right? And so this is how I'm able to get the moringa seeds to go down. So moringa seeds, when they come out the pod, I should have got one of my pods from my tree. They look like this, okay? So there's a shell on the outside. Sometimes you can just squeeze it like I just did, and the shell will come right off, and you're left with the white seed. That's what you're going to eat. You can eat it on its own, but you might want to just do 1 or 2 because it can have a laxative effect on you. And so like the recommendation is no more than 3 in a day. But if this is your first time trying out moringa seeds and you're just going to chew it, just have like 1 and then build up. Now, I'm going to tell you, because I'm yes, baby, I like it raw. I'm going to be honest when things taste good and taste bad. Chewing on moringa seeds are not it's not going to taste like chewing gum, all right? So that's why I like to add it to recipes so that I can avoid the bitterness or the in it. So with this recipe, you're able to get the benefits of the moringa seeds, which is a great source of protein, which is a great source. It's just it's a superfood, like really and truly. All right, so I add, because this is a recipe that has multiple servings, I'm adding more than what I told you to take daily. Because we're not going to eat all of these energy balls in one sitting. So I like to add about 9 to 10 or 9 to 15 to this recipe mix. And so then when you have the energy balls, then you know you're getting at least 1 or 2 servings in there, right? So the other trick, if you try to squeeze the seeds and they're not coming out, what you see me doing over here is I take the back of a spoon, I press gently. If you're like super strong like me, just like press softer than you normally would, and then the shell will come right off, okay? So I'm putting a couple more in there, and you'll just hear that little popping sound like you hear now, and then we're good to go. So 2 more. Okay. Voila. Okay. So I have my seeds in there, and I know as I break this down in the food processor that it will be the way I like it. Now, another way to break it down is in your coffee grinder. Thank you later. So if you want to just make sure it's really ground down, then you want to put it in your coffee grinder, okay? Someone said, oops, I ate the seeds. You could, but it's better to, for some, it's better to do it like I suggested. So here we are. We are going to now get this nice and fine so that we can move forward to the next part of this recipe. And my face is drying. Notice my face is drying. It's not as green as it was before. Okay, so power on. So if you notice, I feel like I can process this more. The reason I'm going to process this more is because I have almonds in here, and it takes a little bit more time to break them down. If you use walnuts, they're your friend, they're really quick. You can pulse a couple of times, and you're ready to go. Pretty good. I can't see any seeds out here. I might just do it one more time because I like my meal to be very fine. And again, these ingredients you can get at Ulta, this new line. So let me go there. Now we're good to go. So from here, I add the remaining ingredients. So what am I adding? I like to add some coconut, shredded coconut unsweetened, because we don't want to add any processed sugar. If it comes in its whole state from a fruit like the dates, that's good. The body can process it properly, but when you add processed sugar, it causes nerve damage. It drives the insulin levels really high because the fiber is missing. So that's why we want to avoid adding sugar to things like this. Then I'm adding my cacao powder. Cacao powder is a great antioxidant. It's a great source of energy, and it's unprocessed. So you get all the nutritional benefits that come from the cacao seeds, okay? I like to add a little bit of salt. When you add salt to a sweet recipe, it actually brings the sweetness out a bit more. I'm also gonna add some hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are a great source of protein. They're a great source of omega-3s, which help us stabilize our hormones. And I love all the benefits of hemp seeds. Now it's time for the dates. So I'm going to add about, so let me talk about dates. There are more than one kind of date. There's your medjool date, which is super large, and then there's your delgut, which is smaller. So if they give you measurements, and I'm gonna give you measurements for this, go by the measurements, because one medjool is equivalent to 2 delguts. And medjools are softer, where the delgut dates are a lot harder. So sometimes I suggest soaking them before you put them in a recipe, especially if you don't have like a high-speed blender like a Vitamix. So I'm adding like 6 of these, and I'll see how this goes. Sometimes I add other superfoods to it. Like if I wanted, I could potentially even add the powder in addition to the seeds. So that's an option, but I won't with this because I made this a cacao blend. So instead of adding cacao, what you could do is add the powder instead, okay? Questions? Everybody's good? Okay, so we're processing again. And then I'll add some more dates, the remaining dates that I had. Okay, so this is where you have to decide if you have to add water. So often, if you use a certain kinds of nuts, you might not have to do that. So if you notice, I'm touching, I could make a ball, but it's still falling apart. So the first thing I suggest if you're doing this is process it a little bit more and see if it gives you a doughy consistency. But you don't want to over process it as well. So just right at this point, I'm just going to stop and go a little bit. And I definitely can tell that I need to add a little water. So that's what I'm gonna do. And you're about to see the difference. So typically I add maybe like 1/8 of a cup, just like 2 to 3 tablespoons. And then I'll add more if it doesn't get to the consistency I want. So There you go. See the difference? Just a little water. And it's starting to move like dough. So you immediately saw the difference once I added that water. So for those of you who are just joining me, I'm making raw energy balls while I'm doing my Kreyolessence skincare, and I'm using the Moringa powder on my face. I'm using the Moringa seeds and my energy raw balls. Okay, so now you see the consistency is where I want it to be. Sometimes I like to add cinnamon too. So here we are. And all I do is roll it in my hand, about a golf size. And this gives you a lot of raw energy bars. If you're going to eat this, you want to have like one a day, because this is super dense in terms of like nutrition. Between the seeds, the nuts, the moringa seed, if you do this without the cacao, the coconut. So like this energy ball, when I say it's like a quick boost, I made this for my friend when they went to Africa, and they were like, you saved my life, when they couldn't find food. So this is the raw energy balls. We'll be sending you the recipe a bit later, so you'll get the full recipe. Any questions before I move on? All right, so as you can see, I have a bowl full of energy balls, and I did the same recipe. Yeah, I don't throw away my leaves. I actually use, so with the moringa, what I like to do is I use the fresh leaves. If you have a moringa tree and you're fortunate like myself, I use the leaves for my green smoothies. I use the leaves for my green stews. I use the leaves in everything, to be quite honest. It makes a really good, just like you would cook down collard greens or spinach, you can do the same thing with the moringa leaves. I like to use, I have this curry chickpea stew that I make, and I use the moringa leaves for that. So here we are. My face feels almost dry, and I kind of put a lot on, but as you can see, it's drying up really well, and I'm feeling the tightness. And so it's really good. So again, if you're going to make the raw balls, and you don't have a food processor, you can do this with your blender. And so modifications, what you would do is in your blender, put the seeds and let's say oats. You could even do, you can do nuts as well in your blender, by the way. And then what you would do is put it in a bowl, and what you could do is add some almond butter, a little water, and I would sweeten it with something like honey or maple syrup, or you could even use date syrup. And basically you can make your date syrup. Basically what you do to make your date syrup is you soak your dates, add them to water, and soak them obviously in water, and then blend it. So like when I say soak your dates, put just enough, the same amount of water, like cover it with the water, and then spin it out, and then you can add, that's your date syrup, basically. That's how you make date syrup. Date syrup is dates, water, blended. So instead of buying a $9 jar of date syrup, you can just make your own date syrup. There it is, you heard it here with Nzingha. So I'm going to warm up some more water. I have my little tea kettle here. So that I can rinse off my face shortly. And so what's on the mask? Okay, so some people are just joining us. So my mask consists of the Haitian, I'm trying to find like the best way so that you can see it, the Haitian Moringa Super Glow Powder. And what I did, instead of mixing, you can mix it with water, but I'm extra. So I mixed it, ooh, the powder just like got in my mouth, and it's so good. Sorry, I just had a moment like, ooh. And then I mixed it with some yogurt. So I use a plant-based yogurt, but you can use a regular plain yogurt. So you don't need to use fancy yogurt, just use the plain stuff. And that's gonna just like really, really, really get your skin glowing, okay? When I say glowing, glowing. Again, you can use water. You can even add rose water to it as a base if you want to get fancy. So it's boiling. Add some more heat. And then I'm gonna get another washcloth and dip it in here. How long did I leave the mask on? I like to leave, the pits were removed from the dates. I like to leave my mask on until it dries. Because we're doing a live and I'm not sure how my multi-layers will land. That's why I'm wiping it off right now. But typically, like, I go about my day, I'll journal, I'll do my meditation, I'll make some other things like a green smoothie, and then maybe do some self-massage with the oil, this oil. And then when it feels completely dry, I will take it off. So the time depends on how thick and how many layers you added it to. So it took me, maybe 10 minutes to make those raw energy balls. And had I rolled them all out, if I hadn't done this here for you, then it would have been a different situation, right? It totally would have been dry if I did all that rolling. So I like to sometimes, and I don't know if I can do this, I like to go in, wet my fingers, and rub stuff in again. You know, sometimes I'll add some seeds from like papaya, not too many, so it ends up kind of feeling like a scrub. But I like to like do a quick, add a little water to kind of like move it around. It becomes like a pseudo scrub, right? And then trying to get all the benefits. That's why I'm like, we're gonna get all of this, you know, that stuff that, you know, if I did this, ooh. So I'm just trying to get I want my skin to be glowing when we're done with this, okay? So you don't know, so you can believe the power of this mix. Okay, so feels pretty good. It smells amazing. All right, so here we go. Ooh, look at that. You see that? You see that under there? You see that? What's going on up? Look at that. What? So, okay, for my skincare people, the way my godmother, who was a spa and salon owner, taught me, and I worked in a hair salon when I was in high school, and there was like an esthetician who like really got me onto my skincare. So she was really big on how you apply and do things. So I'm always going against gravity when I do things. So if you're like, why is she wiping like that? I'm like, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up. Same here. Sometimes I just wet. If I'm like going to go into a steam, I'll get really hot water and put this on there and then kind of cover my face. But we didn't do that today. No pressure. Okay. But look at my skin. Look at my skin. So I go even under my eyes, I go like this, like that, like this, like that. Okay? And I think I got everything. Did I miss a spot? Okay. This is just mask off. That glow, right? You haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. Let me tell you, when I put that oil on, it's over. Did a photo shoot. All I did was fill in my eyebrows and put on some lipstick. No foundation, nothing. I think I missed this spot up here. It was just oil. So like if you see the picture they posted for the IG Live, no foundation. Skincare is my foundation, okay? Skincare is my foundation. So, skincare and food. Don't forget the food. So you want to glow from the inside out. And that's what makes this powder really good. Okay, so there's a couple ways I apply toner. I apply toner 2 ways. I'm gonna move this out of the way, wipe this table down. So these are the 2 ways I apply toner. I do let's get the rest of the stuff that might have been on my face off, dirt, mask, etc. Then let's moisturize it with the toner. And so that's been my go-to for a while. I feel like I'm working with it. So I spray, look at that mist, and then same directional thing, right? Across, and then I check. See, I still had some mask on. So that's why I like to do that first, and then I mist my face. I love the feeling of mist. And so what you didn't see is I actually took this out of my fridge. And so the mist is still cool. And so it feels so good on my face right now. But again, this is why, if you can look, wait. I still had mask on my face, although it looked, maybe it's because my contacts, it looked as if I had really did a good job. I still had mask. Okay, so then what I do is I close my eyes, take a deep breath in, and moisturize. Now, the further away you go, I like moisture. So now my skin feels so good. Oh my gosh, it feels like butter. Like, I wish you could touch my skin right now. It feels like butter, okay? Butter. Okay, so now I have this moisture, and now what I'm going to do is take the oil and seal the moisture in, okay? So then from here, I like to be shiny and greasy. So I'm just going to be honest right now. I don't know if it's the Haitian in me. The way I get my dewy look is oil. So I'm gonna add a couple of drops, and I'm gonna work this in today, okay? Since we're doing this together. So then I get my little spots. Again, don't forget your neck. I feel like I'm missing a spot. Sometimes I work it around my eyes. So it just depends. And this Moringa oil, see why I like to be greasy? Look at the glow now. And I get my shoulders too. I'll even get my chest, because I don't want to be glowing up here and then it's ashy down here. So whatever excess I have, I rock it. And then what I like to do, 1 for relaxation and 2 for, let me pause for a second. You see this? My skincare is my foundation. Literally and figuratively, okay? All right? So then what I like to do is this Chinese process of gua sha and running the face roller. So they use different stones, and I like this because you can't believe how much tension you're holding in your face, and sometimes it's the reason why you have wrinkles, or especially from punching all the time. And so that helps to break up the fascia in your face so that your face can be nice and supple, all right? And so you have fascia everywhere. Fascia is what bundles your muscles together. I could go down the road. I'm super nerd. Okay, we're not gonna do that today. So you could do it in 2 ways. You can do it with this stone, which is for gua sha, or you can do it with the jade. Honestly, I like to do both. So again, if you didn't learn anything, how do we apply all things skincare? All things skincare. What direction are we going in? Follow your face map. Follow your face map. And so what this does, it helps reduce the puffiness from your face, because a lot of times, especially when it's around the time of the month. And so there's two sides. So when you get into these fine, smaller sections, I use the smaller roller. Getting in this little area right here. And this helps to let the oil better penetrate into your skin. Oh. So I didn't realize how much tension I had into my jaws until I started doing this stuff. And it's like, so this is like part of my self-care routine to reduce the tension I have here. So this moringa oil, okay, same thing. So look at the shape here, and it's designed in such a way that it runs with the curvature of your face. So for those more fine, the smaller areas, you would use like your brow, you would use here. For the larger areas, you would go like so. Same thing with the neck. Get the neck. You might even want, if you hold a lot of tension, this is a great way to reduce the tension in your shoulders. And then you throw in some of that moringa oil in there too. Your shoulders will love you so much more. Look. This is part of everything, right? So, and you don't have to be so rough. You can take your time. Okay? Any questions? So you see how that's really helped? I don't know if you noticed the difference, but it's really helped to get that oil really into my skin. So it's not just sitting on top of it. It's now become one. But look at this glow. So I love the roller for tension. I love the roll. Oh my gosh, I wish we could just like clean hands. I would wish you could touch my skin right now, because my skin feels so good. Like baby, it feels really supple. And with masks, I tend to do a mask at least once a week, maybe twice. But again, remember, skincare is inside out. And so that's why I love this new Moringa line, because it speaks to that, right? So you have the skincare for the external part, you have your cleanser, you have your multi-toner, the Multifruit toner, you have the Moringa oil. You don't have to just use it on your face, you can use it on other parts of your body. I'm gonna do another Wellness One Day takeover. I'm going to show you how you can use it on different parts of your body. And then you have products that you can use in both spaces. So then you have the Haitian Moringa Super Glow, right? And so with the Super Glow, you can use it internally. You can add it to your green smoothies. You can make a tea with it. You could, you know what I just thought? You could make a lemonade with this powder, because it's the pineapple rum. So you would get some lime, and then you would add some of the powder when you're mixing everything. Boom shakalaka. You got it. And so with this, what makes this Super Glow powder really amazing is because I do recipe development. So sometimes I have divine download. That was a divine download, because Elizabeth was like, what? I feel like this would make a great lemonade. So you play with it, tell me how it goes. Or, oh my gosh, you can make a mango sorbet and add this in here. Frozen mango, add a little coconut milk, blend it, add the moringa powder, put it in the freezer. Good stuff. So I used it on my face, but you can use it in other recipes. The moringa seeds, so powerful. Again, you can eat them by themselves, but sometimes it's off-putting because of the taste. So this is one of the ways that you can add it to your recipes. You can grind it down and add it to your oatmeal. That way it's not overpowering. You can add it, so you don't have to just make the raw energy balls like I did today. Just some suggestions. If you have a coffee grinder, just use your coffee grinder. Do whatever serving you're gonna do, and then add it in there, or add it to your smoothies as is. You don't have to grind it down if you're adding it to your smoothies. And so you could do 2 for the price of 1 with an amazing green smoothie. And green smoothies are my skincare. So if you're not doing green smoothies, you will see such a difference in terms of how your skin shows up for you, because you've been showing up for it. A lot of times we have acne in this space of our face. This is representative of our colon. A lot of us are not going to the bathroom enough, and so that shows up. In holistic medicine, we're able to read the face to tell you what's going on internally. So typically when I see this, I'm like, okay, drink some more water. If you get acne here, or you have a lot of wrinkles here, and you're not, like, you're super young and you have all these wrinkles, you're dehydrated, you need more fiber. This is your stomach. So look at your food combinations. You probably need to remove dairy from your life. If you have very dark under eyes, that's your liver. So you want to think about eliminating drinking of alcohol, drinking green smoothies. A lot of us tend to have acne here. This is your reproductive organs, but that's why you include these superfoods in there, because Moringa's detoxifier. It's a natural detoxifier. So then that, again, you're glowing from the inside out. You're eliminating the toxins so that you can be the best version of yourselves internally and externally. So any other questions? Somebody said they should have brought a notebook. We're saving this live so that you can refer to it later. But if you have any questions, we're going to take some questions, and then we're going to BK is like, as I'm drinking wine. Wine is really, alcohol is not something you should be consuming in large quantities, because it's just, it dries you out. It dries you out. It impacts your liver. It impacts your brain. And you can get these products at Ulta. So check Ulta out and grab the products. As you can see, I did the live. I did not, this is not a fake Photoshop glow. This is me using the product. I just wish you could feel my face. My face feels so good right now. Like, my face is very happy. And this is just how this regimen that I just did with you is my once a week regimen where I do the mask. Otherwise, I just do my regular skincare. So, yeah. Mostly on the cheeks. So there's a question. What do you recommend for acne prone? I would suggest doing a food journal. Doing an elimination diet. So as a holistic practitioner, I'm never going to tell you this is what you should do, right? I'm going to teach you how to kind of learn how to read your body to see what works. So do an elimination diet. Get really simple 1 week, eliminate everything. That could be as simple as going vegan for a week or going raw for a week, and then start reintroducing foods and see how your skin responds when you eat certain foods. A lot of times the acne that we have on our cheeks is related to, like, food allergies. So, like, dairy might be the culprit, too much oil might be the culprit. So you just kind of have to, like, finagle. You have to see what's going on. I would need more information to give you a specific thing to do. And typically I say also do like a detox. So you could do have simple detoxifying processes by taking things like Moringa. But then you could do like a week or two cleanse, detox, so that you can, like, eliminate as much as you can from your body. And I'm not talking about detox here. I'm talking about you fast. Fast means you abstain from certain foods, and then you incorporate herbs and things that help the body does what it does. The body can clean itself. We just have to get out the way. So that's why stuff like this and stuff like this is so powerful, because it's in line with what the things that our body wants to do. So I hope that was helpful in answering that question. If you want more information, you can catch me at Yes Baby I Like It Raw. So again, My name is Nzingha. If there's any last questions, you have a few minutes before we have to go. We're going to end in like 1 to 2 minutes. But thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. I'm always having to consolidate what I share because I have a lot of information. So it's just, I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. We're going to do a restorative yoga flow. And so like there's no mats, you're in your bed, you're laying down with your pillow, and we're going to breathe, we're going to meditate, and we're going to do some self-massage with the Haitian Moringa oil, which means you should hurry up and get it. So that's happening in a couple 8 weeks. Someone said wearing a mask has caused my skin to break out severely. Also, here I come. Yeah, you know, sometimes the masks are really harsh. And again, one of the ways you can test it is quick tip. Hold a cup of water, have someone press your hand down, you can keep your hand up. Hold a cup of soda, someone's gonna try to press your hand down, they can press it down. If you wanna test if something is for you, you hold it and then have someone press your hand down, and if you still have your strength, it's for you. If they can press your hand down and you have no strength, it's not for you. Quick tip. There's another way to do it, but you have to close your eyes, hold it, and if you lean forward, it's for you. If you lean back, it's not for you. You can test it with water. Maybe I'll put that as a post tomorrow so you can understand what I just said. So it works every time. Like when I do it with clients, they're like, oh my gosh. So your body will tell you what it wants. So thank you again. Have a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you all in a few weeks where we're going to do yoga. Again, remember you're going to need your oil. So head to Ulta to get the oil for that session. And until next time, stay beautiful. And remember, skincare is your foundation, literally and figuratively. Ciao.